We are recording. How's it going, guys? You all right?
Great.
Yep,
Welcome
fine.
to the Shrewsbury Biscuit. I chose the right time to move my keys, didn't I? Just as I hit record. Right. We are with them. I'm so excited. I really am. Me and Julie are here today with Lorraine Fletcher and Stan Sedman, and I'm so excited about this. We're dying to get you on the show for a long time. I'm sorry I can't see you over all the microphone arms and stuff, but thank you so much for inviting us to your house, giving us coffee and cake and biscuits.
My pleasure.
Yeah, it's been great. Just pull this mic right into your mouth right there. There
okay.
we go. Yeah. Thank you for coming on the show. How have you been? You been okay?
Good, thank you very much.
Stan, you
Yeah,
okay?
fine. Every day.
Yep.
Yeah. Julie, you good?
Goes without saying.
You're excited, aren't you?
Holiday in 4 days. Yes.
There's nothing worse than a person that's about to go on holiday, is there?
Exactly. What about us? Never mind the holiday.
I'll send you pictures, don't worry.
She was just telling us it's like 32 degrees in Vegas right now.
Because it is.
Good for Vegas. Good for Vegas. Vegas, baby. So yes, we're here today with Lorraine and Stan. Stan is the local tour guide, extraordinaire, historian. Are you asking him anything about Shrewsbury? He's going to pretty much know the answer, right? He's like an Carter for Shrewsbury. Do you remember Carter? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
No.
It was like an old Windows encyclopedia thing.
Oh, no.
Back in the day, it was like an encyclopedia for you.
The steam machine.
No.
No. Well, anyway, we're here today. So Lorraine is famous for putting together For the Love of Shrewsbury. And For the Love of Shrewsbury is it is pretty much the inspiration behind this show. And so I've got a lot to thank Lorraine for. And I was actually, before I was writing notes and getting ready for today, I went through our old messages and I found an exchange of messages between you and me when I was like, I have an idea.
I remember that.
Claim to
2
fame.
years ago now.
Was it?
Was it Alex?
It was in 2018 and it was August. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, and now I think 3 months later, I launched the first episode. So I was literally, as soon as I got the idea, this is what I'm like, right? And Julie, Shane, Tom, my people that work with me will vouch for this. As soon as I get an idea, bam, I'm like a steam horse. I'm a bam, 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 bam. I'm straight up on designing things, writing notes. And it was actually For the Love of Shrewsbury, how passionate people are about this town that made me think, we need something really intricately local where we can speak to business owners and we can speak to local celebrities and heroes like yourselves, you know. So I come up with this idea,
lovely.
and straight away you were like, you were repping your boy Stan. You were like, yeah, man, you be careful because you don't want to, take people away from Stan's tours. I think you thought I was going to walk around and be like, and here is the famous castle in Shrewsbury. No, the idea was to actually promote Shrewsbury and things like Stan's tours and For the Love of Shrewsbury, and So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, the whole. Can I butt in that the whole of the Love of Shrewsbury is a fantastic site, and it's encouraged so many people to do so many things.
Yeah,
and it's down to Lorraine who kicked it start and manages it.
Yeah.
Manages it with a firm but sensible hand, and it brings people in. And I know of people who don't leave their home but follow everything that's going on The Love of Shrewsbury. So it means an awful lot to a lot of people.
There's a lot of people sort of worldwide that are in the group.
There is.
That don't live in Shrewsbury but are
I
in
feel
the
like
group.
we missed the trick there because at the beginning of the show we should be like the world famous Lorraine Fletcher, because there is your reach. That's right.
But I think it's one of those Facebook groups as well that because of the way that you manage and monitor it, it's all positive stuff.
Yeah.
It's not one of those Facebook groups that allows for negative, and if anyone does, you're on it
I don't
straight
like
away.
negativity.
Boom,
There's
gone.
no need, is
No,
there? No.
absolutely not.
No.
But it gives people the opportunity to express in their photographs in different ways, and to see you can feel the thrill of someone who posts their first photograph and they get 200
They
likes.
get so excited.
Yeah.
And you can see the excitement coming across.
Yeah.
And then you've got people like Jennifer Alexander writing historical articles, and she lives in Bristol.
Yeah.
I mean, and yet people are waiting for her next article. And that's the sort of thing that's been generated by the atmosphere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, and it was. I was walking across Greyfriars Bridge, and I was going to Stop Cafe to write some emails before I launched the show. And there's some students behind me, and they stopped on the halfway through. They took some pictures off the side of the bridge, and they were like, "Oh, it's so amazing! It's so beautiful." And I was just like, "Where am I?" Because I'm used to living in towns where people are like, "I can't wait to get out of Dodge," them kind of places. And
So lucky, aren't we?
we are.
Yeah,
and
we are.
What,
Beautiful town.
I feel like people that move here and find the place are kind of more lucky than the people that kind of born here, if that makes sense. Because
I agree, because I wasn't born here.
yeah,
I mean, in fact, I was born in China and I was brought up in Yorkshire and travelled the world. And it's just because I met a girl here and married that I came to Shrewsbury, and I just personally love it. But for the value of the love of Shrewsbury, people have got to leave the town for various reasons, work, careers and what have you. And you can see them on the link that they're using it to keep in touch with what's going on in the town. And the comments from Australia, Canada and places of people have emigrated.
Yeah, exactly.
You can see what they're following and how much they appreciate everything that's on the site.
Yeah.
and the very reason this show started was because my mic's really quiet. The reason I started it was because I did a show for my other show, the T-shirt I'm wearing right now, the FTLOS podcast. I did a night at the Dana, and I had lots of people in America being like, "Oh my god, Shrewsbury's so amazing. I want to go and see your castle. I want to go to the prison." And I'm like, "Oh my god, this is such a good idea. People from all around the world will listen to this show." And I thought I was being a bit overly confident, but like looking at what we can see from the figures, I show you guys every month. We have got listeners all around the world listening to the Shrewsbury Biscuit, and it's crazy because people from America that don't have that kind of history, they love it.
Yeah,
They really appreciate the traditions that we have and where they come from. And when you can walk around Shrewsbury and see that all around you, mostly, it's truly inspirational. So and speaking of like where I've actually got the conversation between you and me, Lorraine. I'm gonna read it out because I think
no, don't.
yes, I'm
No.
gonna do it.
Alex, no.
What?
I don't know. I can't remember what I said.
you haven't said anything bad. Don't worry.
Basically, I've got this conversation between us, and it is literally it's the most amazing thing. Lorraine's having a heart attack here. What is that? Why don't you? What makes you panic when you hear about things like that? Because you are responsible for one of the biggest things in the town.
Yeah.
And you should be proud of that.
No, it's not the biggest thing in the town.
It's one of the biggest. What you've created is something special.
Yep.
And that can be seen. When I first started being involved, you had 2,000 members. We're now way up, was it 15,000?
Nearly 16 now.
Nearly
Yeah.
16. And people are coming because of the quality of the love of Shrewsbury. And it's been recognised both by the mayors for your communication skills, or the tourism.
Absolutely.
But people do appreciate it, and you undersell yourself in that respect. And you make a lot of people very happy in that respect.
Yeah, so you should be proud of what you've done.
Thank you, guys.
Because, there's so many people that are like this. They'll start. I mean, I've been admins of Facebook pages that have got tens of thousands of people. The Garmy. I won't explain what the Garmy is, but the Garmy. I had like 15,000. It's the Ralph Garman fan page. Okay, I like my Ralph Garman. He was on Family Guy. Okay, and it's really hard. It's really hard when you've got lots of people with lots of voices, lots of opinions, and about certain things, and especially like when you got like heated projects like Pride Hill, for example. You David Trumper will share an old picture of Pride Hill, and straight away you get, well, it doesn't look like that now. Oh, well, you got to be patient. Well, I've been waiting for so many years. This is taxpayers' money,
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's really hard to monitor and to keep the way you keep it. So well done.
I started the group on the 27th of March 2015. I looked that up.
Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say.
yeah.
So Lorraine, when did the page start?
Well, I started on the 27th of March 2015, just for photographers really, just to share photographs of the town, because I like photography, and not thinking I'd get any more than 100 people. So yeah, after a few years, we've got nearly 16,000, so that's quite a few share photographs.
What was that feeling like when you started this group and people started interacting straight away? Was that
That was amazing. Yeah, sharing photographs and just boosting everybody up so they take more, and lovely.
Yeah,
really good.
I like that you've got the cover picture competition where you
that's
choose
really
your best
cool.
picture and you put it as the cover
It gives
picture.
people an incentive to do more, doesn't it? And everybody gets a chance of having the cover photo of the week, and it just boosts the confidence to take more photographs, doesn't it? So everybody gets a turn at that.
So that was your initial start point, it was about having a site for photography,
Yes.
for pictures in the town.
Yeah. That's all it started off with initially, because I like taking photographs, and I thought, well, I'd like to see other people's photographs, not just my own. I want to see what other people can produce to ignite each other.
Yeah.
And it just rolled really. It went very fast. So
then how did For the Love of Shropshire come about? Because obviously that's your other page.
somebody said to me, why don't you start a Shropshire one? You're doing really well with this one. Why don't you start the Shropshire one? So I started that the 31st of August 2016.
Oh, okay. So
And that's got 3,469 members, but that's enough. There's
Bit
around
more
19.
rural.
There's about 19,000 people altogether in those, with the two
Which is
groups
good, yeah.
combined, just to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of contributors, huge contributors to the show. Not just people
Amazing.
not just people that babble about their podcast, but there's people that take every week. You see the same people with the most amazing pictures,
Brilliant.
great input.
Yeah, incredible.
I'm trying to think of names of people.
Lee Roberts.
Yeah, Lee Roberts.
Lee Roberts, fantastic.
John Southerton.
Ross
Ross
Parsons.
Parsons. Yeah, John Southerton.
They-
Who else? Oh, gosh,
There'll be loads of people.
There's so many, and when they get the picture of the week, it's
Yeah.
like winning the gold medal.
Yeah.
And people are congratulating them.
Especially as there's no prize.
No, and so the person's obviously so delighted and
Yeah.
so thrilled to be on that position. And I think it's wonderful to see the reaction.
Yeah.
But there's such a variety of types of photographs of buildings, there's unusual angles. You get the skies, which we're having at the moment.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
We've got the people that go up to Holman Hill and take nature
Yeah.
photographs. Beautiful insects, animals, flowers, stuff like
Yeah.
that. The change in season.
Yeah.
The dingle is every day.
Oh, I know,
a
yeah.
picture on the thing.
Or the river.
On the river. And like now, we've got the floods just
Yeah.
recently, and people are aware of what's happening around the town because of those photographs.
Yep.
And there's some incredible
Yeah.
photography. Really,
There
is,
isn't there?
And it's that kind of what you were just saying there, though, people that aren't living in Shrewsbury at the moment and will not going outside the house that can keep in touch with what's going on here. That's where exactly where the idea for the Shrewsbury Biscuit came from. There's expats that live around the world that might not live in Shrewsbury, and we're like, I wonder what's going on at the flower show.
Yeah.
And
It's true because in their mind, it's in their program. They know that in that weekend in August, there's going to be the flower show. They know there's going to be something happening. There's going to be the carols in the square, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And they can pick it up.
There'll always be stuff going on.
Yeah.
Because obviously you said you started it off as a photography site
Yeah.
initially, and then it's obviously expanded and grown. At what point did you engage with Stan?
This is what I was just going to bring up, because
where does Stan come into all this?
a
Yeah.
massive part of the group is Stan.
Yep.
And his tours. He's enhanced the group so much. So when was that, Stan? About 4 years ago?
It was
3 years ago?
in January. No, it wasn't. It was in December 2016. I'd just finished all my treatment. I was feeling a bit low, fed up. I need to get up and do things. I hadn't done many tours for the year. And my daughter, Vicky, said, why don't you go and see Lorraine and ask if you could do some tours for her group? What group? Anyway, I went. I wasn't IT or all this sort of thing. Anyway, I knocked on her door and asked permission if I could do some tours through her group. Obviously, she said yes. And we started off with some town tours.
Yeah.
And it went viral. It was unbelievable. People wanted to know about the town and the history of the town and to find out about it. And from then on, people went out and did their own thing, and the photographs started coming in from usual angles. Where's this? Where am I? That sort of thing. And we started off with just basic history tours, and then it snowballed from there. And in the first year, we decided we wouldn't charge any. We'd just ask for donations for the Lincoln Davis, and in that year we raised nearly £3,000.
Oh, it's amazing, that is.
For the
incredible.
for the Lincoln Davis, just from people coming on tours. And then after that, we realised they were desperate for more. So we talked about it, and we just started to do outside the town centre. We did the suburb tours, and people from, say, Coleham wanted to know more about Frankwell and things like that. And people from Frankwell wanted to know about themselves more. And that went viral as well. And you don't just create these things. I mean, there's books, and people have done the research, and you can pick up stuff and then you build on it. But people like Barry Trinder, whose book Beyond the Bridges, Peter Francis on his book on the cemetery, you use that as your base, and David Trumper's books, you can pick up lots of things off that. So people have done an awful lot of research, and you can build up with your experience as well, and then you go further into it. And people are desperate for more knowledge.
Yeah.
It is unbelievable. We've had people who have been on every single type of tour we've done.
Yep.
And it's unbelievable. But the thing that is really, really good is that these people we've mentioned about people abroad who come to visit Shrewsbury, to visit relatives and that sort of thing, we've had them just last month. We've had them South Africa, Sydney, Australia, St. Louis in America, and Alberta in Canada.
Wow.
And we've had them from there. And we've had people from all over the world, and we have special days where we entertain them with a tour and bring in other people from the group, so they meet other people from the town and making friends and that sort of thing. We've got one friend, Doreen in New Zealand, who spent a fortnight here and made so many local friends that she's got so many contacts here.
Yeah.
And it is just magic. You know. We've got a family who live in Dubai, and they've got a flat in Shrewsbury, and they contact. We're back then. Are you doing a tour any period? That sort of thing. We get that sort of feeding.
Yeah.
So it's been magical. It did so much for me.
Yeah.
And I appreciate everybody that comes on those tours and tries. But really, I've got a big thank you for Lorraine, because she does the paperwork.
Likewise, Dan.
She does all the lists and everything. And you know, it's hairy when you put 3 tours on in one day, and she copes with it.
Well, they sell out quite quickly, because I mean, it was one of the things, because obviously I'm not from the town either. And when I moved to Shropshire, and then obviously came closer to Shrewsbury, I was desperate to know all about the town. I'd wandered around and was a bit fascinated, but just literally skirted, you know, did the normal pedestrianised bit, Pride Hill High Street, and that was it. Didn't really know about the rest of it. And somebody said to me about joining for the Lovers Shrewsbury Facebook group, and then I saw the tours going up, and I was like, right, I'm going to get on as many tours as I possibly can.
Yeah, you did.
And learn as much as I can about the town in, like, you know, a short space of time. And yeah, there was times when it was like, oh no, that one's full and there's no more spare. And I just say to Lorraine, if there's like, can I be on a wait list? Or, and so that's when I met Stan, and then started to like get all of the information about the town, which is fascinating. And I know I haven't been on a tour for quite a while because I got really busy with work, etc. But I do see when they come on, there is a list, and next thing you know, it's 5 minutes later, full.
Yeah.
Full.
Yeah.
Full.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to
Brilliant.
get on one of your rooftop tours of the market hall.
Oh, yeah.
And that was so good. I really enjoyed it. It was just, you've got such a passion about it, and you're fearless as well. You're like leaning over the rail, right over there, right.
The rooftop tours on the market hall are magic, and that all started in 2015 when they were celebrating their anniversary, and they thought of an idea of publicity, and they asked for a guide to do it, and I said, yeah, I would do it. I did it for them. It took off, and there is always a waiting list. We've just done one at about the end of August, and already there's about 100 people waiting for another tour.
Because your numbers are a bit restricted, aren't they? Because of health and safety when you go out there.
Yeah. But it allows people to see the town from a different angle.
Yeah.
And also to say, I've been on there.
Yeah.
And you know, it's very special for some people.
Yeah.
So that I love that one.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I really enjoyed the Shuts tour
Oh, that's magic.
because
I like
I
that
just
one.
didn't realise how many of these like alleyways, Shuts, are in the town. I mean, how many are there?
There's 27
Yeah.
I go to.
Yeah, that's an amazing, like just knowing all these little shortcuts.
I've only managed to get on the one tour, and I really want to get on more. So I should pull my finger out really and come on some of your tours because, in fact, Lorraine, you can kick my butt and be like,
I
Alex,
will.
we've got a tour in such and such. Make sure you're there. And
Yeah.
I'll be there. I'll be there. I
Okay.
really will. And you've got such a passion, and you're very fearless as well. There's people surrounding you, throwing questions at you, and you're just like ba ba bam, ba ba bam, ba ba bam. You got for every question, you seem to have a really passionate answer. And
It's quite humbling.
yeah.
It's actually quite humbling to do those tours and to see people who look just loving what you're doing.
But his sense of humour as well. Stan has the most amazing
Oh, yeah,
sense of humour.
Warped.
And that's
very
how he
dry.
connects with people.
Yeah.
Through his sense of humour. and
Yeah.
his
For
extreme
example,
knowledge.
I'm going to do a cemetery tour again this month. That's dead boring.
The old ones are the good ones. Boom.
Everyone will be bored stiff. Knowledge is amazing though, and it's one of the way you absorb the information. You seem to like hold on to it all. I mean, I had local author and ex-tour guide Ron Morgan around
yes,
my house.
yes.
He's an amazing guy. And there's a really big house opposite mine in Bellevue. It's on Bellevue Road, up from the Masonic, and it's just on the corner there. And I was like, what was that? And he was like, it's an old Ministry of Defence building. And it used to be just for paperwork. And I was like, he literally just pulled it out of the sky. And I was just like, oh my God, that is an amazing talent to have.
It's on the corner of Pountney's Present.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. And that is just, have you had some questions through?
That's what I know. I'm looking as well.
That's tickled me. It's like, thank you, everybody.
People are probably busy at work and things like that. We'll give them an excuse.
Ron did our training together.
Yes.
Yeah, and we were guides, and then we did our green badge together.
That's what I was going to say, right? So Ron explained to me the badge system and how you guys do your training. Can you like go through that with us just as a recap of what you guys have to do?
Yeah, originally, when I became a town guide, I was a town guide for Shrewsbury National Council, and they just checked me out and made sure I could do what I wanted to do or what they wanted me to do. But then we realised that people were coming to Shrewsbury and they were looking for some sort of qualification in the guides. And so Shropshire Council then had set us up for the Green Badge Guide, which is for Shrewsbury. A green badge is for a local town or city or what have you. A blue badge is for an area. They're the top.
Oh, okay.
We've got a couple in Shrewsbury. Dorothy Nicole is one, for example. But the green badge was for Shrewsbury. And we went into a really intensive program. Even though we were operating as guides and had been for a number of years, we really had to learn every stone just about in the town. We had to, and we had to go to day lessons. We had to take written exams.
Wow.
And then on the day, we had a person from the Guild of Tourism, from the head office, would come to Shrewsbury with another person. And we had to do a tour of Shrewsbury, including Darwin. And we didn't know which bit we were going to do. Somebody would start off, then you say, right, you stop, you start, and you would have to pick up from that point and go on. And then you'd stop and somebody else go on. So we went around the town like that. And then we went into St. Mary's Church, which was our site tour, and we had to know everything about everything in the church, every window, the saints,
wow.
the lot. And that's how we did. And I think we started with about 20, and about 9 of us finished up.
Around about how many years ago was that? Because you've retained this information for quite a while, I imagine.
2012, I think it was.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was quite traumatic, and Ron was on it, and a number of other people, and we were quite proud to achieve the Green Badge Guide. And people often ask for a badge guide rather than just a general guide.
Yeah.
But that's what's probably extra amazing about that is because, like you said at the beginning, you're not from the town originally.
No.
So, in terms of like the knowledge that you've had to gain extra from not being from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I think one of the things that would interest me, and probably hopefully all of our listeners, is from your learning and going through all of this experience, what for you was the most fascinating thing that you found out about the town?
Oh, blimey, there's so much, but I just love St Mary's in every detail.
Yeah.
But I think the most interesting, all right, one pudding.
Yeah.
The London bus in the Roman Catholic Cathedral.
Huh?
What?
What?
If you go into Roman Catholic Cathedral,
Is that the one on the town walls?
on the town walls, on one of the windows, you will find a London bus.
Oh, right.
I know.
And that to me is absolutely fantastic.
As in a modern day London bus, like
Yeah.
like the tour.
Little red bus, yeah.
Okay.
But the other thing I love about going around Shrewsbury is the Wakeman Trail. The plaques which were made from the work of the children of the Wakeman
yes.
School. And I think I've got 29 sites which you can see them at different places. The only one you can't see, and I'm plugging it a bit here, is the one that is actually in the museum, and it's in the cellar, not on display.
Oh, right, okay.
And I think it should be on display. But they're absolutely great because that's the work of the children, and they're now 40s, in their 40s, these people that created
I
them.
learned about this on the Bellevue Arts Festival. They came around my house and they told me about the Wakeman trial. And I was like, oh, that's fantastic.
It is. It's brilliant. And they took around the most unusual places in the shuts.
There's one at
shopping
Greyfriars,
centres.
by Darwin's.
Yeah, Darwin's house,
The
yeah.
B&B there,
Yeah.
And what about you then, Lorraine? Bearing in mind you are from the town, and as a result of obviously going on the tours and being involved in a lot of them, what was something that you discovered about your town that you never ever knew? This is Lorraine's now thinking.
I wish you'd have texted me this so I could think about it. Well, everything really. Absolutely everything. The shuts, I think, stands out.
Yeah.
It's one of my favourite tours. I found them amazing because you can be at the back of a building and it's not really changed that much.
Yeah.
So you can transport yourself back in time, and then with Stan's knowledge explaining about it, it's just incredible.
Yeah.
So for me, I'd say the shuts.
Yeah.
It must be nice being like having the nice slow walk through the alleyways and being able to see where they go through. Whereas when I was walking through town with Shane and he's like dragging me by the arm, we go down this way, and he's power walking because he's like 8 feet tall.
We was talking about it, wasn't we, the other day? We were saying about, and I know that you say this as well, Stan, on your tours, about when you're in town, it's so easy just to walk through the town, look up. It's always about looking up, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
And that's what we was talking, wasn't we?
Yeah,
You, me and
we were.
Shane about that the other day, about what you can see and what you would miss.
And I learned so much from For the Love of Shrewsbury as well, like especially about the Margaret Thatcher little dig that's carved into the
Costa
Coffee. I was trying to tell them about it, but I couldn't remember the full story.
Yeah, well, it was when the building was restored in 1990. They had to put a full beam across, and so they were allowed to carve new stuff on a new beam. They couldn't obviously on an old beam, and so they had a bit of fun. And it's absolutely great because you've got the picture, you've got the circle with Margaret Thatcher and Michael Heseltine, but they're back to each other. And if you remember, they fell out in Parliament where Michael Heseltine lifted the mace and when he shouldn't have done. And then underneath you've got the date, the 22nd of November 1990, when she was left Downing Street.
Yeah.
And then above it the words the poll tax, which is all the problem.
Yeah.
But the other bit is normally you've got vine leaves and what have you on the carvings, but on that one on the bar you've got hands reaching out with coins in where they've taken our money away from us, and I think it's a lovely place. And
That's right.
visitors to Shrewsbury just love it. And a lot of people in Shrewsbury never noticed it before.
No.
But more and more they are because of things like For the Love of
And
Shrewsbury.
it's those kind of things that I think Shrewsbury's amazing for, like about Mardle on the corner where you got the little gargoyle dragon thing.
The dragon.
Yeah.
That's because the beam that comes out from the centre of the building to the corner to support the corner of the building is called a dragon beam. And that building was jetted. The word jetty comes from the French jeter, to throw. It was jetted out on that corner on both sides, so the corner had to be held up by this dragon beam.
It is all those fascinating facts of you talk about Mardle. If you walk away from now, you know the bit outside Bichot Jacques.
Yes.
These sort of like the three poles with the shapes.
The Darwin Gate.
That's it.
Yeah.
And then if you walk down Mardle,
Yes.
and I didn't until you got us to do it that day, you walk down and then you look back, it's a Norman helmet.
Yeah, I've done that, yeah.
And I never, you would never know that unless you was at the right angle looking, and it's like, wow, it's so clever the way that you've got all the different things in town that are different angles, give you a completely different perspective.
I went on a tour for the Darwin Festival with, is it John King?
John King,
John
yeah,
King,
yeah.
amazing tour guide, and he took us on the Darwin Trail, you know?
Yeah.
And obviously this is for Darwin, the Darwin's Gate, so he showed us that, and I was just like, oh my God. But I got spoiled by the Love of Shrewsbury, because somebody put a picture, look, this is what happens. Yeah, but it's good.
That's part of the evolution of Darwin.
Yeah.
The thing evolves into what you make it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is very true.
So contributions towards For the Love of Shrewsbury.
Yeah.
You said you're going to give a few shout outs to a few people. Lorraine.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
if people get missed, they get missed, but
Yeah,
don't
they
worry
do,
about it, you know.
Well, big thank you to the Shrewsbury Heritage, and especially Marion for getting me out in Laura's Tower when it's open twice a year, Easter in September. So a big thank you to her.
I've never been up Laura's Tower yet.
Otherwise, I probably wouldn't be doing anything like that. So, and also a massive thank you to Phil Gillam,
Phil.
who's extremely kind, and Tim for including me on the Beatles event. That was really lovely to be involved in that.
Yeah, it was a nice event.
And to my girls, Kimberly, Katie and Chloe. Can't miss my babies out. And to Stan as well. Thank you for everything that you do for the group and bringing it to life.
And you know what? You know, thank you for bringing this, because
bringing it to
if it
the
wasn't for the
town.
Love of Shrewsbury, I won't be doing this right now. There won't be people from all around the world communicating about what's going on in this town, you know. So it's an amazing thing. So well done, and keep it going.
you.
And everybody, if you listen to this from the Love of Shrewsbury, give Lorraine a hand and behave yourselves, you know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, I've got a few
Thank you, guys.
No, it's good. I've got a few shout outs to say before we get out of here. I want to give a shout out to Pete White from Web Orchard, who's at the moment, as we speak, building our website. I've seen a few pictures of it. It looks amazing. We're going to have a really nice website, so thank you. I need to do an audio. This episode is brought to you by Web Orchard. I need to do one of them. Also, John Wagner, he had him on the show last week, and it's now Rocktober. Starting on
that's
the
right,
2nd of October.
Yeah.
So make sure you go to Kickstarter and then search there for Rock of the Gods, and you can donate. And you know, there's some amazing perks, like for what you know, a couple of quid. John says, you know, thank you for that. But if you donate tenner, you'll get a copy of the comic book you're donating towards, and a thank you on their website. And that the donations go up to something like, I think there's a £5,000 donation, but you get you get put into the comic book
As a character?
Your company.
Oh,
So your company,
okay.
because it's all based around football. This comic book is amazing, right? And so I'm trying to remember the football team now, but the football team there, you'll get your sponsorship on the front, on the front of the shirts. So it's quite a good sponsorship thing. But buy John a couple of pints, help make this comic book, because it's his last thing. He put so much money into Rock of the Reds, and he this year was like, I need a bit of help. This time, I want a bit of help making this one. So yeah, go to Kickstarter, search for Rock the God, and if you can donate a couple of quid, that'd be awesome. Also, we've got a thing to clear up as well. So at the end of the Beatles opener in the theatre, I saw a guy who I thought was Dave Trumper.
This was so funny.
Dave Trumper, I've got to say, right?
I read this on Facebook.
Yeah, he's my ex. He's my ex-school teacher. I really want to get him on the show, and I've heard he's a really busy guy. But Dave, if you listen to this, come on the biscuit, bro. He's my old teacher, and I just wanted to thank him because he was quite inspirational for me. And we saw this guy in Theatre 7 that my wife pointed to him and was like, "That's your old teacher." And I looked at him, I was like, "Oh yeah, it could be. It's been a few years." So she was like, "Go and say hello." So he sat at this table right around the corner waiting for the show to go into shows with his family. And so I went over and I just stood there and I was like, I suffer from anxiety sometimes, right? And my heart's going, and I'm like, excuse me. He didn't quite hear me.
No.
I was like, excuse me. And he looked at me. I was like, are you Dave Trumper? And he was like, no. And I was like, I was determined.
Convinced.
I was convinced it was him. We came out, I was like, my old teacher just blew me off. He's just blown me off. I was just like, oh. And then I saw a picture of, my wife found a picture of David Trumper on Facebook. She sent it to me. She goes, that wasn't David Trumper, that you?
No, David Trumper would never blow you off.
No, that's what.
Yeah,
He's one of the nicest men you'll
Yeah.
ever.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and this is why I want to get him on the show because it's quite a funny story. And I'm sorry to the guy I harassed.
Just some random stranger who was adamant he didn't know you.
I should have known better. I should have known better. That because he's one of the nicest teachers. I mean, we were talking about. I think it's on Shrewsbury Banter. There's a Shrewsbury Banter page, and the one thing that teachers have said to you. Is there something that a teacher has said to you that's made you go on and do something different in your life? And David, there was 2 incidences. I don't want to tell this on the show yet, but there is an incident with him that made me change on who I was as a person. Okay, I went cross-eyed on the school photo, and he went nuts, and he was like, "That is permanent. Don't be an idiot. You can do better things with your life." And from then on, I was kind of like, "Yeah, let's be a bit better behaved." So yeah, have you guys got any moments like that? And you get any teachers that you?
Well, funnily enough, there's a Facebook group there's a girl that's just started a Facebook group off of our old school. It's not called the name anymore.
Yeah.
And obviously this is a school down south near Heathrow. And within days, she'd got like 1,000, she's hit the 1,000 members.
Wow.
But so everyone's like naming teachers, and I'm sitting thinking, I can't remember that teacher, And then I kept thinking, what were the lessons I was really good at? And then all of a sudden it was like, right, biology. That was Mrs. Henry. Geography. That was it.
Yeah.
And so suddenly I started to remember a few. And again, obviously, that's the good thing about in terms of the Facebook group but it was probably more about, I didn't have teachers that were inspirational that said, don't do this and don't do that, because I got that sort of thing from my mum and dad. So, I took a lot from my mum and dad. But, those teachers, because of the way they were and how good they were, made me excel in those particular lessons. And that's where I passed my exams in, as opposed to others where I didn't. And then when I look back as to why, it's because the teachers weren't very good. Well, the teachers were probably good, but they just weren't very nice.
I think it's the approach, isn't it? It's the teachers that say, go and do this and go and do that.
Yeah.
Like, I was a really angry, torn up little boy, and I used to just flip over the smallest things and lose my temper and stuff. And this teacher was like, go somewhere where that's okay. And so I joined the cadets, and I became a really highly decorated cadet. By the end of my career, I did really well. It taught me self-discipline. It taught me this, that, and the other. And it was just because of something a teacher told me. I just thought it was a really nice thing. And I've got these fond memories of Mr. Trumper's class. So I'd love to get one on. That's the. What about you? Have you got any memories of school? Anybody? A moment of inspiration that?
Not to do with school. I mean, my life was military from birth right the way through, and served a long time in the army. But I served with an officer. He was my commanding officer, Colonel Morn, who taught me more about people and how to deal with people and how to look after people and care for people and understand people and respect yourself. And that man made such an impression on me. And I still think of him today with fondness, and he was a fantastic guy. Yeah. And you have those sort of people in your life, and they're special, aren't they?
Yeah.
My dad for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's my inspiration. I miss him dearly.
Yeah.
Lovely, beautiful. As well, last week I went for an audition at BBC Shropshire. They're doing an amazing. The way I explain it is, it's almost like X Factor for radio. So they were doing auditions for something. It's called BBC New Voices.
That's right.
And at first, I was speaking to Tim, who's one of the guys at BBC, and he was like, "You should, come over and have a look." And I was like, I don't really want to cover something that's on the radio for a podcast. That's kind of seems kind of, they can talk about it on the radio. You know what I mean? So I thought I'll give it a go. And I was like, yeah, I'll do this. I'm talking to a microphone all the time. I can do this. No problem. It's not that easy, guys. It's really not that easy. There's like, they were like, okay, you need a story that's a minute long, so, a gripping story. So I was chatting to Shane about it. And he was like, take the handshake story where I stole a handshake from the mayor. Okay, that's I always tell that story about how I reached in to shake Charlie Adlard's hand and he was trying to shake the mayor's hand. It was quite a funny story where I just made it look like a complete fool. So I thought I'd take this story, and it was 1:20. It was meant to be a minute, but if I raced through it, I'd get it through done in a minute, right? So I went there. There was lots of people there. It was really nice. I was chatting to people because that's what I do. I sat down in the studio. They gave me a microphone. I started reading this story, and I don't do those kind of shows where you read off a script very well. I do things ad lib. That's what I do. And so I started reading for the story, got muddled up, lost where I was reading. And it went over the minute. I hadn't finished the story and I didn't get through. It just goes to show that I'm not ready for radio, not at all. But I just want to wish everybody luck that went to that, because it's such a fantastic thing. Local people, can become the new Jonathan Ross, or
Local time for local people.
Exactly.
The new Chris Moyles. I think we need to give the Mark Fielden from Cords Crush Cancer a good shout out as well, because he's getting lots of donations in for Cords Crush Cancer. There's the prison have given him something. There's a cave place somewhere that's given like a free cave entry into, like, there's loads of things going on. He's getting loads of really good donations, and he was asking yesterday for donations, and I said, well, we could do like it's for a raffle, so you people buy tickets for the raffle. I mean, he raised like $5,000 last year doing that. Ooh. And I thought it'd be good if we do like a podcast experience. Maybe somebody wants to become a star for a day. So I was like, maybe we can donate an hour of our time, and somebody, whoever wins it, can become a celebrity for a day. And we can literally just be like, you know what I mean? Like make it like a huge thing, and make someone a celebrity for a day.
We've got. Can I ask a question?
Of course you can.
Can I ask a question? I'm going to ask a question because obviously it's October now, so it's nearly Halloween coming up at the end of the month. Are the ghost tours on the?
Ooh, that's
good.
Good question.
Yes.
I'm going to miss them.
Oh,
There will be 3.
Wow.
There'll be one on Halloween, which is the 31st.
Yeah.
And then either the Monday, definitely the Monday, and then possibly the Tuesday and the Wednesday. I haven't decided which one to do.
Is that after the Halloween or the ones just prior to it?
Prior to it, the week prior to it. There'll be the Monday before.
Yep.
There'll be either the Tuesday or Wednesday, and then there'll be definitely Halloween.
Has it got to a point now with these things where you don't really need to sell these things? As soon as they're up on for the Love of Shrewsbury, they're pretty much gone.
They're gone in and out.
Less than an hour. I've gone on there, and it's like they're gone.
I live on my phone, and they just go.
They just go. Yeah. It's quite humbling to see the people desperate to go on them. And I mean, I'm doing the cemetery one because people are saying I missed the last cemetery one. Well, I did 3.
I'd love to do the cemetery one as well.
Well, I'm doing the cemetery. I forgot what date it was. The Saturday the 19th, I think.
Oh, I won't be here.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I just turned to Julie because I was like, maybe we should do it, but selfishly, Julie's on holiday, so
sorry.
How dare you?
And then,
certainly the next ones.
And then I'm doing Meal Village on the Sunday. So I'm doing the 2 together. We'll raise some money for the Meal Brace Youth Club.
Yeah,
that's what we'll do for that.
Have you got tours planned right out to December? Do you go that far ahead?
I haven't got the dates. I think I'm going to do a Shuts and Passages in November.
Yep.
And my daughter says I should do a Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
So
of course, because
I'm glad you raised money for the hedgehogs. I'm so pleased you did that for the Quan wildlife.
The wildlife.
Hedgehogs.
Yeah,
that was pretty special.
That was brilliant. It was so we did the tour. We'd already decided it was for the wildlife tour, a wildlife rescue. And then the day before, they advertised that they were desperately short of money for the hedgehog food.
Yeah.
So straight from the tour, I drove to Much Wenlock and handed over the money.
I know. I saw that on Facebook.
Yeah, I'm so pleased you did that.
That's brilliant.
And that was special because we did it and we met an immediate need.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Did you see as well that Shrewsbury's just been put in the Guinness Book of Records for the Charleston dance?
I did that. I was in that.
I did that.
Yeah.
We was part of the 1,000, wasn't we, Lorraine?
It was brilliant to watch. I mean, I didn't do it. I watched it, and it was great. And the atmosphere, and it's things like that. The atmosphere in Shrewsbury when that happens, the atmosphere is fantastic. The wacky races, the Charleston.
Oh, I know. I missed that.
The Beatles weekend.
Amazing.
People have just enjoyed themselves.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah. And actually, that's probably thinking about that. That's probably another person we can interview, Sarah on the Biscuit, that did the national. Obviously got that group together to do the record breaking. Because from that, she's doing all these loads of different dance workshops. So there's she's got Halloween coming up where you can do Michael Jackson's Thriller. She's teaching everyone to do that, and they dress up and do that. Wow. So she'll be someone good to interview.
Absolutely.
Just people having fun. I took a group from on the Shutsum tour, Shutsum Passages tour, from Love to Sing.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely fantastic group of people. They just get together and sing, you know.
Was they singing as they was walking around?
No, but they just the atmosphere that they create when they get in the square and start to sing is
electric.
Yeah.
Have you interviewed the Shrewsbury Heritage and all the work that they do for the town, dressing up, you know, when there's events? They get dressed up in all the Victorian outfits.
I really want to.
You should, because they do so much for the town. Laura's Tower and...
maybe we can exchange details at the end of this, because I really want to get around that. I mean, we want to do things with people like that, and you know,
we want to get through all the sort of the market stallholders, don't we?
That market is brilliant. But just touching on heritage, that's absolutely incredible. When I was chairman of Shrewsbury and Bloom, I used to get them to stage different things around, like prostitutes in Grove Lane and things like that, and put features in the Darwin scene. I've got a super picture of Andrew Bannerman bending down to a little Charles Darwin outside the library, and that was for the European judges, and it just brought it home that this was the home of Darwin. And the Heritage Group can do it just like that.
They can. They won a prize in the carnival as the best dressed. They are absolutely amazing.
Right, we're on a list.
We're on it. Yeah. Can we talk about Grope Lane? Because I want to know, because somebody was like, make sure you ask Stan about Grope Lane. What's it all about?
I don't know if this. The original name was Grope and a little word beginning with a C, Lane.
Okay.
So that gives the heritage, and it was the place, the nightlife and things like that in that sort of period.
So that was the red light district.
It was a red light. You came to the market, you sold your wares, and then you spent the money on the lady in Grope Lane. And it does go back to that, the name.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's a bit of culture for you there, kids.
But then if you go on the Shutsum Passages tour, if you go down Rouse Hill and you go along there, and you're into the Victorian red light district of Shrewsbury.
Oh wow!
Servicing the bargemen coming into the quays with their barges, and you can actually see the walls of houses that have been knocked down and where they used to operate.
It's amazing.
It's learning about things, little things like that, amazing things like that. That I love your site for. You know, for the
You've
love
got
of
to do
Shrewsbury.
that one, Alex. That shots tour.
I'm going to do them all. I am going to get around to do them all.
They're brilliant.
Yeah. Do you do a river one?
Yes, I do. I normally do that in the summer or in the spring.
Yeah.
And I do it. I walk from the Frankwell Bridge right the way around to the Castle Footbridge.
Okay, yeah.
And do the whole gambit. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's quite a nice one. You just leisurely walk along, and of course, it's easy. People in wheelchairs. It's flat. You know.
Yeah, of course.
They bring their dogs and so on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do all those.
I like the things like the prison things. I'm a bit of an empath. Like when I go to like the prison, I like to like put myself in the situation as the person that was there. Like somebody shared something for the Love of Shrewsbury the other day.
Prison. Yeah.
About the old prison, the Gaol by the castle.
Yeah.
Oh, the one behind Doe and Oil.
Yes, that's it. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, from the
I learned that
library.
on Stan's tour.
And I was just like, I never knew that, and it's because of for the Love of Shrewsbury I learned that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. I didn't know that was a prison, kind of a bad prison at that.
That's the prison yard, and the entrance on the other side. You know, with the old police house and
That's it. So it's where you go down the steps, isn't it? To come out the back end of the bus station.
Castle Court. Yeah. That's on the Shutsum Passages and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But you do the prison. I actually went into Shrewsbury Prison when there was prisoners.
I'd love
actually
that.
prisoners in there.
Oh.
Not unpleasant. I was chairman of the monitoring board of Stoke Heath Prison, and we were invited to go to Shrewsbury Prison and have a look and see how they lived.
Yeah.
Pretty grotty. Pretty grotty. Not nice.
Yeah.
I imagine.
Yeah.
All right, have we got anything else to show? I've got to say, we're going to be doing a show in a couple of weeks with Pixie Bell. We're going to talk about mental health.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be good. You're going to be away for that one. We have Jim Hawkins next week from the BBC. He's coming around my house, which is daunting.
Ooh.
I've got to make my house BBC proof. It's kind of like, and then we also... what else have we got? We've got loads coming up. There is loads. There is really loads. But my mind has just gone. Well, Lorraine, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
And Stan, keep doing what you're doing and be proud of what you've done. Okay, you don't feel, because what you've done is you've brought people together, and that is like one of the biggest things for me. And I've been dying to do this interview for so long because I admire you so much. So, be proud of what you've done. And Stan, I hope that we create some sort of what you're doing now is fantastic. It's fascinating. It's inspiring, and I hope that we can keep it going as some sort of legacy. Keep kids, train some new guides up and call it the Sedman Tour.
Yeah.
There we go, and keep a legacy going because I think
Sedman Society.
Yeah, because
definitely.
what you bring to the town is something that everybody talks about and knows and loves. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you for those kind words.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you for hosting, Lorraine. Here.
You're very welcome.
And the carrot cake.
I will have a piece of carrot cake after this. I'm looking at that cake like, but friends for life.
Yay.
Is there anything you guys want to add before we leave? You want to plug anything?
No. Just thank you, Shrewsbury, for what you are.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so lovely. And you know what? I was going to say, actually, we haven't done it, have we?
What?
What does Shrewsbury mean to you? I'll start with Lorraine. What does Shrewsbury mean to you?
I'll fill the silence while she's thinking.
What does it mean to me? Well, it's the most beautiful place in the world, isn't it? It's totally beautiful, and it's inspiring. It's everything.
Well,
I
that's
can't
nice.
really put it into words.
But,
It's hard to put it into words.
That silence speaks more than words, because you
choosing the right word.
so much information
Too
coming
much
in.
to think of.
Stan, what does Shrewsbury mean to you?
13th of August 1959, I sat in the music hall, I looked across the floor at the dance, and I walked across to a lady and said, "May I have this dance, please?" She's now my wife.
Oh,
That's what Shrewsbury did for me.
that's brilliant. Oh, that's brought a little tear to my eye. Oh, how lovely.
Beautiful. I'm so glad there was a microphone in front of your face right then. That was amazing.
Oh, that's lovely. That's really lovely.
That is lovely.
Oh, that's the best answer to that question that I usually just throw in people's face.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, thank you so much for joining us. And listeners, make sure you give this episode a like and a share. Tell people about us. Drop us a line. Lots of people getting in touch at the moment on Facebook. Lots of people wanting to come on the show. If I don't get in touch with you for a few days, don't worry about it. It's I have seen your message. I will get in touch. It's just we have a lot of people getting in touch at the moment, and we'll get back to you absolutely 100%. And thank you very much. And make sure you join us next week with Jim Hawkins. Thank you very much. Peace out.